Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. $1 million.
Live from New York, Dinner at the Roundtable Podcast. You already know what it is, man. We in the building as usual, Monday nights. You know, Chris Wright in the building, John Tavar, the whole Dinner at the Roundtable family. Dueña the other day, the Spanish, Latino version. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those guys too doing their thing. We're here, man. What up, y'all? The Butcher is definitely back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and
sure,
it's the appearance of the crazy hair and the beard, because when you move to a new state, as anybody knows, finding a new barber is hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Hard, because you got your guy that's been taking care of you for years. He know how to cut your hair. And you go to a new state, it's hard, man, to find somebody new, man. It's like finding a new girlfriend, you gotta scope, out spots, you gotta test it. You don't know if you're gonna come out looking fresh. So,
Gay!
man. I'm telling you, man. Like,
also though, but now that you're in a new state, you're in a boss type of environment because of your new position at your, where you work at. You wanna have like an intimidating look, and you definitely look intimidating, bro. Like that.
And, it's when you move to a new state, like, and I'm not talking about Connecticut, I'm not talking about Jersey, I'm not even talking about Massachusetts. I'm talking about when you move like a good distance away from New York City, you realize like how aggressive you are as a person, man. It's like, and I consider myself to be like on the lower spectrum of aggression.
Yeah.
And then when you and then people look at you like, damn, you aggressive. I'm like, but I'm a lower tier. I'm like, I'm not that aggressive, man. I know people who are 10 times more. Like my co-host over here, Nelly. He the more aggressive, So
behave.
Only they knew how much of a killer you were. But
I have that moment where I look at somebody and I'm like,
I'm gonna shank you.
They get like a little scared. I can be a little intimidated. I laugh. I'm like, I'm not that intimidated. It's I tell people, it's like in New York City, you got so many wolves. Especially when you're from the hood, you got a lot of wolves. So you got to be a wolf yourself, because if you're not a wolf, you fool.
Yeah.
Either you a wolf or you fool. If you walk into the street and they see you as food, it's over for you. So you got to walk with an intimidating type of, feel. You got to match aggression with aggression. It's a bunch of lions in a jungle. And if you ain't a lion, you're going to get ate. You're going to get got. That's just the mentality.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that aspect of, where we came from. It's like we don't mean nothing by it, but
it's all about survival, man. That's at the end of the day. You don't want to get herbed out. You don't want to get hurt. On the way home from school or whatever, or on your way home on a late night from work or from hanging out with your buddies, right? Anything can happen. New York is a very populated area. There's a lot of anger here because we all live bunched up, and people grow up.
I saw somewhere the other day. It's like describing like the difference between, because in the U.S. it's New York, it's LA, and then it's Chicago, and it's basically like situated evenly. So Chicago's like in the middle of the country. It's on the other side, and New York's on the other side. New York and LA are completely different cities from each other.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
And it's like a friend of mine, he posted a meme the other day about New Yorkers. It's like, we could walk to the subway, right? See a mother with a child in the stroller. We'll go to the stroller, pick it up, walk down the stairs, and walk the fuck away. Without even saying, do you need help? Nothing like that. But we gonna help you, but we ain't gonna be nice about it. That's the New Yorker. That's a typical New Yorker right there. We ain't gonna be nice about it, but we gonna help you.
Word, yeah, that's true. It's like the New Yorkers are like passive aggressive and shit
Like
mostly.
we it's not. I want we just straight up. It's like we got things to do. We ain't got time to sit there
Yeah.
and say, I'm helping you. We gonna help you, but we're not gonna be nice about it. We're not
Word.
gonna be nice.
Hurry the
Way.
fuck up, man! I got shit to fucking do, bro.
The fuck you do? I'm gonna help you, but I got things to fucking do. It's like that's how we are. We're like, and people always said, "Oh, you basing your experience only on one city." But now that I moved, pretty much clear across country because Texas is, 1,300 miles away.
Yeah, no.
I can clearly say that the real New Yorkers, not these fake out of towners that moved to New York City 10 years ago and think they New Yorkers. No, I'm talking about the born and bred since we went to elementary school, preschool, walk through the streets here, never been to Times Square for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Right? Only went to the Statue of Liberty for school. Yeah. Never been to the top of the Empire State Building. I'm talking about the real
those type of New Yorkers.
Like the hardcore, like, we the best, baby. We just the best. We the best.
We the best.
And I would say that with confidence, man. To be honest with you now, I don't really miss the city much though. It got They got annoying.
You don't miss the city at all, like so. I mean, I guess maybe because you have more peace over there. You don't really got to be watching your back all the time.
It's. I don't miss the city, but I miss my life out there. You know what I'm saying? I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss. It's not as much as I miss. I just miss that option. You know what I'm saying? Like if I miss that option to say, yo, now you want to chill? Let's go out and chill. I can't do that now. But before, I always had that option to say, yo, now let's go out and chill. You were only like 15 minutes, on a car ride.
Yeah.
Now you got to take a plane to see me. I got to take a plane to see you.
Yeah.
I can't just be in my crib and just be like, yo, now come through, let's drink, let's chill. I can't do that.
It's like an hour and a half, like the 2-hour flight, I think, right? What is it?
3 hours, depending on how fast the plane is, like three and a half. But
okay,
I miss that option. Like that option.
I heard it's quicker coming back from Dallas.
It's
quicker coming because the wind like kind of pushes towards the east. So whenever you're coming back from like the West Coast or Midwest, your flight time is shorter than when you're flying over there from New York.
Yeah,
going against the wind versus going with the wind.
Super windy out here, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
be driving, my car be going like this.
Word, see? So it does make sense.
Even 80 miles, because the speed limit is 70 out here. So I got used to driving pretty fast. So when I go back to New York and I'm driving, it's gonna be hard because speed limit is 50. Speed limit is 70 out here. 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit is normal. Ain't nobody going 50 miles an hour on the highway. Everybody's going 60, 65. I mean, you got your annoying people that want to go under the speed limit, but for the most part, everybody lives between that 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then you got your sickos, your speed demons that want to go 100 miles an hour on the West Side Highway. I don't know how anybody could go on FDR 80 miles an hour. This shit is like so small. I'm always scared.
You'd be surprised, man. I mean,
yeah,
I've done that. I've done 80, 100 on the FDR. Well, I'm a wild animal when it comes to driving.
Bro, listen, you drive 50 miles an hour on the streets.
Word, right? On the local streets, I was like, yo.
I would say this though. New York people know how to drive. They don't know how to fucking drive in Texas, bro. They do not know how to drive in Texas. I never fear for my life in New York. Every time I go on the highway, I fear for my fucking life, bro. It's scary out here. Like they reckless in Texas. They reckless. They don't know how to fucking drive out here. The closest calls I ever got to really bad accidents has been in Texas. Never New York. Never New York. But Texas, close couple times.
I think it's because of the how many people have vehicles in New York. So people get to like be more cautious when they drive because they have to be on point all the time, right? They have to be like on their toes, right? Versus a rural area where there's a lot of vehicles, but not as much as I guess New York. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's just that, right? The amount of cars that are available. I don't know. I'm not sure.
There's accidents every day, like
Yeah.
bad, like collisions,
You
like whole fronts. You know, I
ever
seen
get lost? You ever get lost in Texas? Somebody said this.
Oh, you want directions?
nah.
Rennick.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
Texas, deep down the heart of Texas.
You know what's crazy about where I'm at though? Dallas is very like liberal, like out of
Yeah.
town. So basically, I'm the out of towner. That's like when you're in New York, you look at the out of towners. If they
Yeah.
ain't from here, like I'm not out of town in Dallas. There's people who are out of towners, more out of towners who live in Dallas than actual people who were born and raised in Dallas. So it's crazy that a lot of chefs have like a lot of chefs and my job told me that like there's not a lot of people who live in Texas, who live in Dallas, who were born and raised here.
Oh, it's like really? So it's like basically like New York. A lot of people like moved in there from other places.
Yeah,
Now in New York City, you see a lot of foreigners in here. People
yeah,
from other states, people from other countries, and the real New Yorkers are moving out because
yeah. So
don't want us here anymore. They don't want us here.
that's been like the analogy because that real Texas accent I've only heard it like very rarely, like a couple times.
So you haven't heard this?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You haven't heard none of
Where's grandkids?
that? And he was like,
Am I gay? What you want to do to me, man?
fucking those redneck talks are crazy. But yeah, man. So today's main topic is going to be canceled culture. Cancel culture, which is basically how every industry is being attacked because of people being too sensitive. If you're a celebrity or somebody who has a platform that's big, you say anything, you're done. People want to cancel you right away. What happened to the freedom of speech? We don't know. But yeah, man, nowadays, man, everybody has this entitlement issue that they feel like they can just speak their mind because somebody said something on a TV show or on a radio station. They're like, oh, you know what? That offended me, so I'm gonna make something about it. It's crazy, man. Like
It's
it's insane.
insane.
It's insane. Really is insane because if you think about it, man, it's like for comedians, for instance, it's pretty hard because comedians use real life experiences, right, to make jokes out of, right? So if you think about it, how are they supposed to generate jokes if they're like gonna be like attacked just because they said something about a group of people that they don't really feel that strongly about? It's just a joke. A joke is a joke. It's not real. Some of it might be real, but not all of it, right? So it's just
Yeah,
insane, man. I don't know how we're gonna get away from that, but it's getting ridiculous.
ridiculous. Probably, this is I've always said this and I'm gonna say it again. This is why Dave Chappelle is my favorite comedian of all time because he does not give a fuck about none of that shit. He will make fun of everything and anything, and he doesn't care. He's like, "Come cancel me. I don't care. I'm still gonna say what I want to say." And he in his one, I heard one of his when I was driving over here from New York. I heard one of his specials, and he was going in. I'm just like, they're like, "Yo, this dude is insane." But Chappelle's been, he's been like he's been going above the needle for so long that people accept it. But I've read articles about his reviews for his comedy show. Oh, how can Chappelle say that about that? And how can Chappelle be so out of touch with it? And I'm like, it's jokes. It's just making fun. Chappelle's a genius at making fun of the time. Like he's just a genius at it. He knows how to poke fun at the time, and he's serious without being serious. And that's what makes Chappelle so great.
No, it does, man. And
I
like
love Chappelle because he makes fun of cancel culture all the time.
yeah. Chappelle. Chappelle's in the building. We got his soundboard here. But yeah, man, definitely. Chappelle's definitely one of those people who don't they're against the system when it comes to like being entitled, right? And look at Kevin Hart. I think it was last year, was it? That he's made a comment that he got banned from the Oscars or some shit.
And you know what's crazy about that is because he made that comment, apologized for the comment, and he was canceled.
It wasn't the comment like super old, like it wasn't even like
It was like
recent.
super old, and because people want to bring up old shit,
Oh, or
it's like
fucking 1992. You said this.
so you know I look at old movies from the '90s and I'm like, dude,
It was ruthless.
you guys couldn't do that. And Damon Wayans is was one of my favorites. Like he's like my top 5 comedians all time. Chappelle's number 1. Martin Lawrence is in there. Damon Wayans for a good maybe 3 years in the '90s was the number 1 comedian. Like there was nobody touching him.
Yeah,
You know, after Eddie
it was
Murphy,
good.
Martin Lawrence, and then after Martin Lawrence, it was Damon Wayans for a little bit because Martin Lawrence he went crazy, couldn't handle the pressure. You know, like being the top dog, he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he was being the top black comedian at that time.
Yeah, and he just
Hard.
couldn't. He literally broke down, and it affected everything. Because if you notice from Martin, the show, seasons 1 through 3, he was lighthearted, he was happy, he was go lucky, he was. Then if you notice in the last 2 seasons, he was dark. His whole persona changed. You know, even his way he looked, the way his aura, his energy was so different. Because he, you know, at that time the pressure was getting to him. But Damon Wayans was talking about Living Color and that skit that he had with what's his name, David Allen Greer, and they were just they were reviewing things in a very feminine manner, as I would say. And he was like, we could not do that skit now. We couldn't do it because we would violate and we would push so much buttons. And I think to me, we've gotten to that point where I think the main part of cancel culture is that we don't want to feel pain anymore. We don't want to feel any kind of discomfort. So we want to make life seem like it's just roses and everything is great, everything is good, everything is nice. We don't want to feel that pain anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I think when we condition people when we condition our society to think that life is all goody two shoe, what happens is when they realize that it's not, like, it kind of causes anxiety issues and stress. People are like, oh my god, I thought the shit was like all peaches and cream. I guess not. You know, it's not like that. When they enter the real world, especially kids that are growing up, their parents are like super sheltering them. They're super sheltered. When they get to be adults and they go into the real world, they get to see that not everybody's gonna be as nice as mommy is, or how they treat them in school. They're not gonna get a trophy for everything that they do. Things are different, man. You're out there, like basically, like you said, like a sheep with a whole bunch of wolves, right? Trying to get across town without getting bitten, right? That's how the real world is. I think we have to condition our future generations to learn both sides of the spectrum, right? Like, okay, this is evil and this is the good. Now, these are the moral standards, the moral standards that you should live by, but beware of this because this can happen to you. You know what I mean? I think if you give people a fair warning, or teach them, or teach them by example, like showing them like stuff that's happened to other people, it's easier for them to kind of accept it when it does. But when you shelter somebody to the point where they think that everything is all Skittles and rainbows, like when they find out that the shit is not like that, it kind of fucks with them mentally, and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety. I think that's what's going on in society now. That's why you see a lot of people hooked on medication to take care of mental issues because they couldn't handle the truth.
Can't handle it. I had somebody recently try to cancel me.
They try to cancel the butcher.
Yeah, like, oh, what you were saying was very bad. and it was detrimental, and it wasn't good to say. And I was like, excuse me? I can say whatever I want to say. And if I feel like saying it, as long as I'm not being disrespectful, I'm going to say it.
Do you want to say this, Chris, when they told you that?
I'm Rick James, bitch.
So it's like, I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to share what I want to share. Like, who are you to tell me I can't do something? And I went in on that person. It's like, no, you're not going to cancel me. No, I'm going to continue to say what I want to say. Because people forget that truth is a very complex thing. What's true for you is not true for me. Your opinion and my opinion can differ. Great.
Yeah, you're right. Your reality, everybody's reality is different.
So what you feel is your truth doesn't necessarily mean it's my truth. So you can't tell me what I think is wrong and sit there and say, oh, you're dangerous. How am I dangerous?
You are kind of dangerous, though, honestly.
Because I'm a butcher, that's why, motherfucker.
You look dangerous. You killer.
So it's like,
sorry.
I told this person, like, what you're doing right now is more dangerous than what I've ever wrote or said on Facebook. The fact that you're trying to tell me what I should think is very dangerous. And I told that person, I don't give a damn what you think. I don't care how you feel. I'm still going to do what I want to do. And that's it. You're not going to try and cancel me. I'm not tolerating that shit. Like people nowadays are so scared to offend. No. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in. You know, we don't want to offend. We don't want to, piss off. No. You know why? Because people are going to use that as an avenue to get over on what they want to get over. They want to be lazy. Oh, I'm offended. Oh, you can't speak to that person this way. Okay, so they're going to continue to be terrible workers or terrible people because you don't want to tell them the truth. You don't want to offend them. So they're going to continue to be terrible people. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to offend. Nobody wants to, and that's just like, it's just insane. Pepe Le Pew is a perfect example. It's a mockery. It's not even real. It's a mockery. But that article painted him as somebody who's a part of rapist culture.
It's crazy.
If you believe and you're being taught by Pepe Le Pew, something's seriously wrong with your mental state.
I know, right?
You cannot understand that is a joke and is a parody based on making fun of the smooth talkers, then you're an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
If you believe, and then it's like, oh, Pepe Le Pew has been a significant effect on that culture and creating men to be that way. No. Pepe Le Pew did not create those men. Those men created themselves. They decided they wanted to be pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Not Pepe Le Pew.
That's what we were given free will, man, so we can make our own decisions. I mean, you can't, like, I get certain parts, like certain things are watched more than others. Like, for instance, Pepe Le Pew it's a famous cartoon, so a lot of kids watch it. So you think that there's subliminal messages about them being like rapist lovers, whatever. I'm not sure, but if it's all about the parent too. The parent has to take more responsibility.
I don't know if you remember, there was at the end of Capital Punishment, Big Pun's album.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes was talking. He, at the end of the album, he was talking. He had a skit. He's like, if you're not teaching your kids what's right from wrong, guess who's gonna raise them? We are.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just talking about the stories of what we've gone through, because hip hop is stories in musical form.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're not teaching your kids that this is a story from somebody else's perspective, and this is not the right way to live, then who's the fault? The parents. I'm not gonna deny my son anything, because if he's watching things and they're inappropriate, as they say, because we all grew up on Looney Tunes. I did, you did. That was Saturday night, Saturday morning cartoons. You know, that was part of what we did when we grew up. If our parents didn't show us that this is just a joke, this is just entertainment, it's not real, don't take it seriously, who failed it? It's entertainment, it's jokes.
Well, yeah, it's like, but people, I don't know, man. I think people just like that whole liberal concept, man. That far left concept has gone like too far. I'm not, I'm not political. I don't follow any party, but I can see how that liberal mentality is like giving people like entitlement to like believe that they can voice their opinion for every little single thing that happens. Like it's not like that. Like sometimes certain things are just better left the way that they are. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's weird. It's weird. We're living in a very super sensitive society, and it's becoming like disgusting already. Like how people just like feel like like they have to make a fuss about everything. You know what I mean? It's just if you was busy doing your thing and focusing on the things that you need to do, you probably wouldn't even be paying attention to that. But most people are paying attention to what you're doing, and then they're ready to. Oh, this motherfucker said this. I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna get him. But then let me ask you the question: This: if you're offended by children's cartoons, what's the real deal here? But
Yeah.
yet, here's the deal though. Yet, pedophilia, which should be the focus on everything, it's not a focus. It's not something that people get killed over. But yet, you want to cancel Pepe Le Pew, but you're not willing to put somebody in jail who's clearly did something wrong. But there's nothing said about it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane, right there. Yeah, man. It's like you like, yeah, that's crazy, man. There's more important. There's more important issues in the world that we need to be worrying about.
The Pepe Le Pew.
The Pepe Le Pew. Like I don't know if you saw over like a couple of days ago, the United States and China got together. Their first meeting since Biden's administration took over, and it was a heated debate, man. It was crazy. So basically, the United States is trying to like say that they're not comfortable with certain things that China is doing, like with human rights and all this humanity and certain like stuff, right? So then China goes, "Wait, what are you talking about? You guys are the worst people to be saying that. Look how you treat your own citizens. Like the they said African Americans have been treated wrong, and even our kind have been treated wrong in your country for centuries. You talking about humanity and human rights? Come on." So
Yeah, like really, who the fuck? Like, what audacity do people have nowadays? It's like, what the audacity do you have to tell me what I should do? But
yeah, but
you not completely clean yourself. Like
you're throwing rocks at a glass house, like you know what I mean? Like
there is not a human being in this society. I don't give a damn who you are. Racism is so embedded in our culture, in our society, that you cannot sit there and tell me that you've not been racist at least once in your life.
Or prejudice to a prejudice
to a single soul.
Maybe not racist, but like you probably had a prejudice towards
a prejudice. You summed up a person based on what you saw before you got to know the person.
Yeah.
And because when you got to know the person, you got cool with them and they became your friend because you actually got to know the human being. Yeah. You're not a racist.
Everybody's had. I believe that everybody's probably had a thought to pass by their head or an action that might be considered prejudice, right? Or for that matter, yeah. But the whole point of that thing, what I was trying to say was about the meeting between China and the United States was that the United States was trying to like dictate what China should do and not do when the United States themselves are not perfect. So that's what the Chinese diplomat was like, hey, you guys are throwing like rocks at a glass house, right? Like your house is not perfect. Why are you trying to change my house? Your household is not perfect. You're trying to change my household. Like we're not for that. We're not going to stand for that. and we will take force to the fullest extent if we have to. So they're threatening, like, if the United States keeps on interrupting into their affairs, they're gonna retaliate somehow, some way, which I already think they did with COVID-19, but whatever, that's another story.
But here's the deal, though. People have the audacity to tell someone else how they should live. The
Yeah,
audacity. For me, I am completely done with like our society. Like, I wish I could go back 10 years because I'm completely done.
yeah,
My point is that I feel like the agendas nowadays are being forced and pushed. And it's like, if you're not conforming to what it is, then you're evil in a sense, right? Me, it's like, why should that be a thing? You want to live your life, live your life. Do what you want to do, live your life the best way you want. You want to do what you want to do what you want to do. At the end of the day, it's your life. You're the only one who's living it, not me.
yeah.
But I feel like we have to stop forcing ideals on everybody.
Yes, yes. I mean, there has to be a standard. There always has to be protocol. There always has to be rules and regulations because we need, as a society, we need structure to a certain extent. But I do feel where you're coming from. Certain things shouldn't be as severe of a takeover of people's lives, right? Like we have certain laws in place to prevent people from doing certain things, but people still do them anyway. They still break the law anyway. So at the end of the day, we do have to have a structure for society, but at the same time, uh, when it comes to like basic things, I don't think we should force people to do things that they don't want to do. You want to be an asshole, a crackhead for the rest of your life, then do that, right? I guess I don't know. That's my take. Like once I figured out that nothing means nothing, like honestly, like nothing means nothing. This is all a simulation. Your reality and my reality is completely different, and that we're living in a simulation that the universe created for us. That I don't give a shit attitude gets you farther in life, honestly. Than when you're worrying and stressing about what the next person is doing. You know what I mean? I mean, to a certain extent, you have to be concerned about what the powers that be are doing to like affect your everyday life. But if you're not getting affected by it and everything is going pretty good, live that life of I don't give a fuck because I think it's healthier. Honestly, for me, it's been healthier. Once I realized that, I mean, there's things that I do care about that I will voice my opinion about, but I'm not gonna make a hissy fit about everything.
No, no, I'm the same way. Like, I had a friend of mine one time. He's like, "Oh, why are you going to see WrestleMania?" So what? Are you spending my money?
Like, Chris, it's fake, right? He told you
Fake, right? Oh, really? I know it's fake, but it's
that.
you know what you got to see. You got to see Young Rock. I seen a couple episodes that they released. Young Rock, you heard about it, right?
John Rock, what is that? Is that a
It's
series?
basically like a fictional show about Rocky, about
Oh,
and he's basically running fictionally for president in 2032, and he's like reminiscing
oh,
about his
right.
life and how he got to where he was. So there's a
The
particular
actual Rocky Balboa. That is a show by.
no, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh,
There's a
okay, Dylan Rock Jackson. Okay, okay.
It's pretty good.
I was like,
Um,
wait, Rocky Balboa. What the hell you saying?
well, yeah, well, it's and so basically he went on a date with a young girl, and she enjoyed the show because it was a show, it's entertainment. I know it's fake. I know it's not real. The physical aspect of it is real, but the storylines isn't real. I know that, but it's entertainment. It's meant to entertain you. I didn't give a shit. I was like, okay, are you spending my money? Are you taking the time to make the trip? Why are you worried about it? But you had to voice your opinion because I didn't agree with what you felt was great. And I used to feel that way all the time. Like, oh, people are not going to agree with me because I beat to the tune of my own drum. I like different things. And then I realized it's like at the end of the day, it's my life. I like what I like. I'm going to live my life. And I'm going to teach my son that. It's like, what you like is what you like.
Yeah,
And if you live your life for others, You know, that's the problem, and I think that goes back to cancel culture. It's like we want to paint society out to be great, but it's not. And some of the things get really ridiculous now. Are there certain things that should be canceled?
Yeah.
Yes. Like the Cleveland Indians, the mascot, that should have been canceled a long time ago. I'm in agreement with that. But keep the name. Keep the name and use it as a way of
Embracing the culture. So,
embracing, you know.
yeah, the Indian culture instead of like, making a profit out of it and not giving them anything.
Exactly. Use it as a tool. The Washington Redskins should have been changed a long time ago. That was super racist. There's certain things that should be canceled, but never forgotten. And people just want to cancel it and forget it like it never existed. It's a part of history. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of what shaped us to get to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I get it. I mean, humanity is not perfect, so we're gonna fuck up here and there. But I mean, some things are just not that serious, man. Stop it. Like you guys are going way overboard.
Overboard, bro.
If you
Overboard.
was worrying about your dreams and your goals, you probably wouldn't have time to be making a fuss about stupid little Pepe Le Pews. Focus
But
on,
you know, it's like to me, it's like if you don't
focus
like
on
it,
your goals.
don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Why do you have to say I can't watch it?
I
Who the
feel
hell are
like
you?
the cancel culture is like is most like is mostly like
It's a form of control.
that little group of people that started that movement, whatever. It's like like stay at home single moms that just have nothing to do, or stay at home single dads, or people who just don't have anything to do. They just they're just at home hanging out. They're fucking bored and they want to make a fuss about you saying anything about anything, right? It's like they have nothing better to do because they don't have anything going for themselves.
One of the greatest forms of comedy ever created is dark humor. Dark humor is one of the greatest forms of comedy ever. And that's a form of comedy that's in serious jeopardy of becoming extinct because dark humor is offensive. It makes fun of everything and anything. It makes fun of the craziest shit, the most violation shit you can ever imagine. And that to me is great because it focuses on the negatives. It focuses on the dark side of things. And it makes fun of it because comedy is at its purest form a way to make fun of the darkness that's occurred. If you ever look at if you ever look back and you tell stories, you tell it in a comedic way, it was pretty fucked up when it happened. You were pretty fucking mad when it happened, but you
Well,
can make fun of it, and it's a way of healing in a sense. That makes sense.
well, it does make sense. I mean, it's insane, man. I mean, people just got to start being like Herbert the pervert old man from Family Guy.
Yo,
Don't you mouth off to me or I'm gonna slap you right in your penis.
it's
Yeah,
great.
man.
It's genius, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I think in a sense, like, oh man, I kind of miss like the mob and shit, like the mafia days, because they kept people in check, bro. Like all this shit is going on now, all this sensitivity and people are bitching about everything. That
don't
shit
be
would have never happened during like the mob era.
don't be soft. It's like, yo, dude, it's like now it's like people just can't deal with nothing.
They can't.
I can't function. I need a
Yeah,
mental day.
and
I can't. I can't survive. And it's not even that hard, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Life ain't that hard. Life hasn't been that hard in a long time
yeah, man.
compared to how it was 200 years ago.
We've
Where if
almost
you couldn't eat today if you ain't get your ass up and grow that shit.
word.
Now you can just go to the store and get whatever you want. Life ain't that hard. We
Yeah,
just human beings want the attention. They want
yeah,
to be. They want to create an environment of shit because it's just who we are.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm saying like we're building a society of self-entitled pieces of shits. Sorry, unfortunately, that's what the future holds for us.
I
Yeah,
think
I know people that personally that will pass right by the restaurant that they want to eat for, want to eat, have food from for dinner. They'll pass right by it on their way home, walking by, and just to not have that interaction with another human being, they'll order it from an app to bring it upstairs to their crib. That's insane. You see what I mean? Because that's the whole entitlement mentality. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, there's a system available for me to do my thing without having to interact with human beings. So people to get it done, man, they do it. That's insane. That's insane to me. Why you have your camera? What using you picking your nose?
Nah.
Guess who?
Guess who? Chris
Guess who?
It's a good I've been able to afford to drink now. It's crazy.
So you sound like drink without people knowing you're drinking.
Oh, rats!
Yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, man, the cancel culture, there's definitely more to talk about the cancel culture, but even with in sports you see it too. I don't know if you noticed, like there's a whole bunch of like stuff going on in sports too, like with like people trying to cancel certain things because of things that have been around for years that people are just trying to talk about and trying to make it right. But is it really right because people just feel offended about it?
Look at what's happening to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, absolutely. Look what's happening to him.
Is it true? Is it not true? Who knows? But it's so funny how all of a sudden people are coming out of the woodwork for it. To me, if he is a piece of shit, he should definitely be canceled.
Yeah.
If it proves to be true. But people want to cancel you and don't get the facts first.
Exactly.
Same with Cuomo.
Do you think
it's allegations, but you wanted him to step down, but it's allegations. So what if it proves to not be true?
What do you think that the press and I think the press and the media has a lot to do with it too.
Of course,
they make these sexy ass headlines that people don't even fucking get to read the actual full story. They just read the headline and automatically they make a judgment based off the headline.
Oh, he's wrong. Yeah. He's wrong. But is he really wrong? Have you found out he's wrong?
Is there actual real proof, or is it just a news media trying to sell the story?
Exactly.
That's
and
another thing too.
That person could be an opportunist to get a payday.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get a payday. He touched me inappropriately. Let me get a payday.
And we know
it's not true.
I mean, through history, we've seen that before. That people just want to have a cash cow and they want to get paid. Somebody who's who has more money and it's it's in the public eye, in the limelight, and they see it as an opportunity to get money from them too, and they falsely accuse them of stuff that they really didn't do.
I saw somewhere one time it's like we have become a society who goes against reality. So if you speak reality and truth, you're evil.
Yeah.
Like we're speaking right now is evil. There's going to be somebody who's going to see this, is going to get offended by it because we're being this, but we're doing that. But we're just basically just basing things on fact and truth.
Yeah.
And reality. People don't live in reality anymore.
Well, luckily that Spreaker.com protects us under this explicit show.
I know. But what I'm saying is that people are quick to cancel you whenever they don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you can speak the truth 100% of the way, but because they don't agree with you, because it's not a part of the norm. No matter how crazy it is, it's not part of the norm.
Yep.
So if you don't agree with the norm and you're just basically showing light on facts, you're an evil person. That's fucking crazy. That shit was never like that.
Yeah, it was never like that. That's the whole thing, man. People have entitlement issues. I think it's entitlement issues, but people just wanna feel in control that they have like a right to determine what your life is gonna be like. Every condition doesn't fit everybody's lifestyle. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But for those that you guys got us confused, we're like, what the fuck? We don't know what's going on, man, because you guys are wilding out.
Yo, it's like this, and this all goes down to the Caucasian way of thinking, right? Let's take chopped cheese for example. How long has chopped cheese been in the hood for now?
Dude, I was actually last night I was doing I had someone do research with me about it. The research, the chopped cheese was created in Harlem. It was
Yeah,
created in like the mid early 2000s.
early 2000s, right?
Yeah, and it was created in a deli. Like I forgot that his name. He was of Arabic descent, right? The person who cooks at the deli, and it's so it became like a staple in New York City. Like
Yeah,
it's actually like
yeah,
popular sandwiches that people actually come here for out of state, out of cities, from different cities, different countries to ask for that. It's crazy.
white people took that shit and made it out to be some kind of phenomenon. Like they just discovered the greatest thing in the world. Like it's so brand new. It's been in the hood for years.
But you know what it is, because I'll tell you this much. And I don't want to sound biased, but they don't have a culture.
So every time they discover something new that we do, oh my god,
Yeah, oh my god, it's so erotic. It's so
amazing! And then they take it
so
and they try to make it
provocative.
into something that they did.
It's so provocative.
A sandwich that you get in the Ock for $4, they charging $13, $14 a sandwich for, and it ain't even close to how good that Ock sandwich is, bro.
Nope.
Or the
I'm
fact
about to
that
get myself a chopped cheese after the show.
yo, let's talk about the NYC subways because I'm in Texas and I'm hearing all these shits about how fucking dangerous the New
It's
York
so dangerous, man. During the pandemic,
cities.
we all know that the homeless issue in New York City is a big issue, right? It's a big problem. But during the pandemic, they've taken over the subways, man, because they were not too many people not too many people use the MTA as much because of the pandemic, where people weren't using it as much. So it was like a free fall. Like, hey, you know what? Like nobody's using it, so let's just go shelter ourselves in the subway system, right? And it's insane. Like some train stations are like full of them, man, full of like homeless and drug addicted people with mental issues, just like walking around the train stations. Like it's very dangerous. Like here, where I'm at, right? I'm close to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in Washington Heights, and it's like a very popular train station, right? They got cops there, like just watching 24/7, just watching to make sure that the crackheads and the homeless people don't do anything to the citizens while they're coming to and from work, because the hospital's right there, right? It's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but to me, the New York City subway system's always been fucked up. It's always been dangerous.
Yeah, but it's been crazy now, man. The pandemic is like they took over the homeless and the mentally ill people and the drug addicted people. They took over the New York City transit line, bro. It's crazy. You can't, like, you go to any train station, they're just full of them. Like it's like out of control right now.
I remember. I remember like during the height of this shit, it's like there was a whole train car full of them. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man. So imagine that times 20 inside of a big ass train station. And the manpower was not there to kick them out. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's getting even worse by the day, man, as we speak. And I haven't heard any plan of action yet from the city. Like, I mean, they're talking about it here and there. Like,
De Blasio is too busy attacking Cuomo. That's his. He.
I know,
Yo,
right?
listen, bro. I hate that dude. Like, he's the worst man we've ever had. You know why? Because it's like you're an opportunist. As you know Cuomo's weak right now. You know he's not gonna fight back. You know he's not gonna fight back because he's getting it from all sides. So you kicking dog while it's down. You're an equal opportunist. Why you ain't say that foul shit and that wild shit beforehand? All of a sudden, because you know Cuomo's not gonna do nothing to you, or he can't do nothing to you because he's under the microscope. Now you acting like you all big and bad. Come on, man. It's coward shit. It's coward shit.
Um, this is video that went viral in the summer. He was walking in the city, like I guess he was going to a meeting or something, and there was like a heckler, like this around the area where he was like gonna go do the meeting at. And he sounded like one of those like wise guys, like Italian guys, like, "Hey, you De Blasio, you fucking rat, hope you fucking die, you piece of shit." So that his security, whatever protects the mayor, right? I think it's NYPD cops or retired NYPD cops,
It's
like the Secret Service for the mayor, right? Whatever. They were like
they have,
trying to like shove him, and he's like, "Don't fucking touch me,
they
don't."
have two detectives that are like they have NYPD has special detectives personally assigned to protect the man.
The mayor, yeah. Well, anyway, the guy was going in, man, and so when he was passing by him, he went to go like he tried to like wave at him and say hi, try to shake his hand. He goes, "Don't fucking shake my hand, you fucking dirty rat, you piece of shit." Blah blah. Yeah, it was mad crazy. That shit went viral, man. That shit was insane. I had to post it on my Instagram, but it was so hilarious, man. I wish I could show you that. I'm gonna see if I can find it while we're talking here. You're gonna crack up. But yeah, man, it was hilarious.
Hey,
Hilarious.
I don't know, man. I tell everybody all the time. They ask me, "Oh, why would you come down to Dallas, Texas, to from New York?" It was like one, it's too expensive. You know, you paying so much money for a fucking closet. You know, my apartment is $300 less and it's 10 times bigger. You know, and I'm paying fucking way less. You know, and it sucks, but New York is a very blue state. Texas is a very red state. What's the difference? In red states, you see more of your money. In blue states, you don't. Everybody struggles in a blue state. Everybody feels like that's just the way the life is supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's not. You know what I mean? Kind of makes you think like, are the liberals really doing their job
No, they're not.
correctly?
It's
They just, I think the liberals live off of like that oh, we're owed this because this happened to us in the past.
or their agendas is very like contradictory in a sense. I would say they're out here trying to fight for equality for all, but is it really equality? Is it really equality? I've had people complain about, oh, CEOs make my money and all this and that. Did you put in the time that CEO does? Did you work as hard as they did to get to where they are? Do you work as many hours as they do? Or do you want to sit there and complain and I do no work, complain, and feel like you're entitled to get paid for it?
And that's a lot of people have that confused. A lot of people don't understand that you're not everybody's meant to be a boss. Not everybody's meant to be a boss. Like some people just don't have the capability. Yes, we all entitled to learn new things because we have the ability to learn new things, but the pressure and the responsibilities that come with being a boss, not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can be a leader,
You know,
and
I,
people
I
don't understand that.
I had a conversation with a coworker of mine who was, he was reflecting in a sense. I looked at him and I said, do you know why we're bosses? Do you know why we're management? Because we can handle the job. Not everybody can handle the job, like you said. And I had this conversation and said, we are in a position where we're at for a reason. That person is where they're at for a reason. Because
Yeah,
that person didn't give a shit. So if you don't give a shit about your job, A, why should you be paid more? And B, why should you be given responsibility if you don't give a shit? That's the purpose.
I mean, if your work performance doesn't match up with the title, like why would they trust you to take over their company or be the head honcho in their company, or if you be the head honcho, period, right? If you don't got the
Exactly.
skill set, man, if you don't have the work performance, I mean, some people can learn certain things like to get to that level, but then once they get in that position, it's pretty hard to maintain themselves if they're not ready for that responsibility.
There was moments where I felt like I made a mistake because I couldn't deal with the pressure of it. It's like, okay, I'm in a new stratosphere. I have no pressure now. It's like I have to perform, and it was difficult. But I attacked it like a bull, man. I tell people all the time, it's like, what keeps me going is the fear of getting fired, one, and two, going back to where it was. Don't ever want to go back to that level, ever. Every day, every year, I want to progress. So I'm going to always work hard and be a bull because I realize that it can be taken away at any moment. And I always feel like there's always somebody who somebody else feels better than me. So I have to prove it every day that I am better. And that's what keeps me motivated to work hard every day and to put out the best product I can and to do the best job. Because I feel that there's always somebody else who feels like there's somebody better than me. And I cannot allow that thinking to even remotely entertain that mental side of thinking. And I think people in our society don't think that way. They feel entitled. It's like, oh, I've been here 10 years. I should be a manager. No, if you've been here 10 years, are you a good worker or are you a piece of shit? Most of the time, if you're there for 10 years and you're still in the same position you are, it's because you're a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. You don't got what it takes to be the head honcho. I mean, the people that there's people in higher positions that can notice if you have the balls or the capability of being somebody in charge. And there's actually an expertise that needs to be it's a standard of expertise expected when you have a high position in whatever it is, and whatever type of career or job you have.
Yeah. And it's, I got to my position to where I'm at right now because I worked extremely hard to get to this point. Perceptions, very important to change. And it is possible to change those perceptions. So, and
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely. I'm trying to find that the Blasio thing. I can't find it, but it's hilarious, man. The day that I find it, I'm gonna save it and make sure I play it here at the round table. But yeah, man. Ah, man, entitlement issues, man, for sure. But yeah, man, it's been a great conversation, Chris. Thanks for being active and coming back from your missing in action status because you was making your transition to Dallas, and it's great to have you back on, brother. Definitely have good conversations.
moving is hard enough, but moving cross country has been, dude. I respect anybody. I've had conversations with people who's moved all over the country. I'm like, how do you do it? How do you do it? How can you move from one side of the country to the other side to back up to down? It boggles my mind. Like I get stressed out just thinking about it. But I'm glad I did it, man. I needed to challenge myself and get out of my comfort zone. For a long time, I was there.
Oh man. Sometimes that's what it takes, man, to get out of your comfort zone. It takes that to get out of your comfort zone to actually amount to something, bro.
Yeah, the one thing that sucks is that I can't tell Nelson to shut the fuck up, please.
Not in my face. You can tell it to me remotely through Zoom, but
Fuck you, Nelson.
where
How about that? How about that?
I know some wild cowboys down there in Dallas will take care of you, buddy. So watch it.
When you come down here, man, we gotta go to the Dallas Cowboy Stadium, which is in Arlington, which is like a 40-minute drive from where I'm at.
So it's not in Dallas, the hell?
It's like it's Dallas County, so it's Dallas, it's Irving, it's Arlington, it's Fort Worth. Like Fort Worth is like farther. So it's so when you go into Dallas, it's called the DFW. It's called the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, and it's an entire like county. So Arlington is within that county of Dallas. So it's Dallas, it's Arlington, it's Dallas, Irving, Arlington, and then Fort Worth.
All right. So yeah, I definitely want to check it out, man. Just because I'm a big Giants fan, I want to see what the big deal's about.
My brother's coming end of April, so he wants to go to a baseball game, Texas Rangers.
Oh,
And the
really?
Texas Rangers and the Cowboy Stadium is right next to each other.
Yeah, because I know the Texas Rangers. They're in Arlington.
Yeah, so
For
they're
sure.
literally like across the street from each other. And then the Dallas Maverick Stadium is like in the weirdest section. Like you would think it would be like downtown Dallas, but it's like tucked in the corner of like some weird like out of the way area. It's weird.
Shit. Is Mark Green? Is he a Texas native? No, right?
I'm not sure.
I mean, Mark Cuban. I'm sorry, Mark Green. Mark Cuban.
I'm
I'm not too sure if he's the owner of the
pretty
Dallas Mavericks.
pretty soon I'm gonna take a trip to Arlington because they got a Six Flags there.
Yeah.
They got the stadiums. I want to see AT&T Park. I definitely want to go to a game this year. I got a bet with one of our close friends that he's gonna come down for that weekend
Yeah.
and go to the game. We
Oh
gotta-
man.
So
I
if
thought he was in an Earl there for a second. He was like, oh.
there's fucking Texas, there's fucking Cowboys everywhere here. We have a bet where I'm gonna wear the Cowboys jersey if they win, and he's gonna wear the Giants jersey if they win. We'll take
Oh,
pictures.
okay. That's a dope bet. That's a dope bet. All right, man. So Dinner Toronto podcast, you already know what it is, man. Chris Ryder, 99 in the house. Shout out to John Tavar. Shout out to the rest of the Dinner Toronto family. Dueña the other day. Shout out to Serena Mesa Redonda, the Latino version of Dinner Toronto was coming on tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? With an artist named Russo 170. The Russian Dominican from 170. You already know what it is, man. Chris Ryder, any final messages there for the audience?
Of course, man. I just want to say this one thing only. Stop being a bitch about everything. Stop being a bitch about everything. Stop taking everything so personally. Stop taking
Oh,
things so.
behave.
I'm offended. You know what I'm going to tell telling people? I'm offended. You're offended. I'm
yeah,
offended.
right. I'm offended that you're offended, you piece of
You're
crap.
offended. I say, stop being fucking. Oh, I can't function because somebody yelled at me.
Stop being a pretty cat.
Stop being I can't function because somebody was mean to me today.
Oh
I
man.
can't look at cartoons because it's so fucked up.
Well,
I don't like that movie because it doesn't depict what I believe in.
guess what, man?
Did
The
you,
world,
did you hear about what they wanted to cancel Grease?
that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's insane. Like people have to get into the heads that the world doesn't revolve around them. They revolve around the world. So stop it with the bullshit. Stop it with trying to be, so opinionated.
My final thought is this. Stop being offended by everything. Show everybody love. Accept everybody for who they are. Because you want to live your life the way that you want. But we have to stop forcing ideals upon each other.
Yeah, I agree.
And be free completely. You want to live your life the way you want to live it. Live it. But don't force your ideals on me. Don't tell me that I can't live a certain way because you don't agree with it. We need to stop that shit. We need to be able to accept everybody for who they are, what they want to do. You want to do what you want to do it. But if I don't agree with it, I shouldn't tell you that you shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't tell me that because I don't agree with it or in any other kind of way. Accept everybody for who they are. Love everybody. Look at the human. I've said this on this podcast plenty of times. I do not hate race or anything like that. I'm not going to judge you based on your race or your background or whatever. If you're a piece of shit, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, LGBTQ, whatever it is, whatever creed or anything that you feel like, I don't judge you based on that. I judge you on who you are as a person. It doesn't matter what you claim or what you call. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. And I hate you for being a piece of shit. And I don't hate you because of what you are. I hate you because of who you are as a person, a human being.
Yeah.
It's about who you are as a human being. And if you're a great person, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, LGBTQ, green, white, Asian, whatever it is. If you're an amazing person, I'm going to be your friend because you're amazing. And I mess with people who are amazing. And I will accept you forever, whatever you are, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're amazing, you're amazing. And it shouldn't matter what you are. Human beings that are amazing should matter. If you're a piece of shit as a human being, it doesn't matter what you are. You're a piece of shit. And I hate you for being one.
There you go, man. You heard it from the butcher's mouth. You ever taking a shower? You hear this song around you? The butcher's about to attack you. But yeah, man, my final thought is, man, toughen up and stop being a bitch. Dinner at the Round Table podcast. You already know what it is. We're gonna leave you with this.
I think that should be the moral of the podcast. Stop being a bitch.
Stop being a pussycat. Bye.
Pooty tat. Stop being a pooty tat.
A pooty cat. All right, we're gonna leave you with this message right here.
Fact that they're subject largely, not all, but too many, to a failed parenting strategy. Because their parents told them they were special, they could have anything they wanted, they can be anything they want, they got medals for coming in last, which by the way we know doesn't work. It devalues the medal for the one who comes in first, and the one who came in last, it makes them feel stupid because they know they didn't deserve it, right? Fact that they're subject largely, not all, but too many, to a failed parenting strategy. Because their parents told them they were special, they could have anything they wanted, they can be anything they want, they got medals for coming in last, which by the way we know doesn't work. It devalues the medal for the one who comes in first, and the one who came in last, it makes them feel stupid because they know they didn't deserve it, right? The kids got into honors classes not because they deserved it, but because the parents complained. And some of them got good grades, not because they earned them, but because the teachers didn't want to deal with the parents. And then the kids graduate college, and they get a job, and in an instant, they find out they're not special. They don't get anything for coming in last. Their parents can't get them a promotion. And you can't have whatever you want just because you want it. And in an instant, their entire self-image is shattered. And so you have an entire generation growing up with lower self-confidence than previous generations. So you have lower self-confidence than previous generations, combined with an inability to ask for help with things that you're struggling with, and you turn to social media or a device, you keep checking, you count your likes, you count your followers, and if somebody unfriends you, oh my God, it's trauma, right? The way they break up with each other is they just ghost each other, just cut each other out and stop returning texts and returning phone calls because they don't have the skill set to say, hey, it's not working out. It's not me, it's you, right? There's no closure on things, right? Combined with the fact there's an institutionalized impatience. So they've grown up in a world of instant gratification. You want to buy something? You go on Amazon, it shows up the next day. You want to get in touch with someone? You don't leave a message on their machine and wait 4 hours for them to get the message. You just text them and they get back to you immediately. You want to watch a movie? You just log on and watch it. You don't have to check movie times, right? Everything happens instant. You want to get a date? Swipe right. You don't even have to muster up the courage to go up like, hey, you don't have to. Combine.
There you have it, man. Dinner at the Round Table podcast. That guy definitely gave us a little concept that actually is really prevalent in our society. It actually makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but Dinner at the Round Table podcast, man, your source of knowledge. We just dropped a little gem there for y'all canceled culture people. Stop doing it, man. It's not right. It's not right. All right? Dinner at the Round Table podcast. We out of here, man. You already know what it is.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Mr. President, in 12 hours I will destroy Washington, D.C. with this giant laser.
$1 million. $1 million. $1 million.